literacy through art virtual classes on Facebook. My name is Maritza. I'm an assistant art teacher at ArtSphere, and every Wednesday and Friday I bring you guys new literacy through art projects and walk you through them. On Wednesday we did wanted poster for villains, and today I thought it would be fun to show you guys how to create your own literary trivia game. I was inspired by this game. I saw it at Urban Outfitters. It's a friends trivia game, and let me take out one of the cards. I think it's fun to show you because this is what gave me the inspiration. I don't know if you guys have seen Friends. It's a popular TV show. And right here they have the Central Perk is a popular coffee shop in the show. And on the back you have questions, and underneath here you have the answers to the questions upside down. And this is a trivia game to see who is like the true fan of Friends, who knows all the little obscure or not well-known details about Friends that proves that you really watch it. And that's what trivia is. Trivia is interesting facts and or interesting facts that aren't well known. And people play trivia games all the time. Like there are these card games that you can find at like Urban Outfitters or other game stores. But there are also trivia games in person. Like I know that I go to Drexel and there's a Shake Shack on campus, and every Wednesday night there's trivia and a bunch of people come and make teams and compete for Shake Shack gift cards, which are really fun. So I thought it would be nice to bring trivia game into the home. So to start this project, I suggest that you start brainstorming what books that you can use. Are there any books or novels or book series or stories that you know really well or your family knows really well, and you know a lot of trivia for? For example, my family really likes Harry Potter. I don't know if you guys can tell from the past videos that I'm a big Harry Potter fan. Last week I made a wanted poster for Voldemort. So I picked Harry Potter because that's something that I know a lot about and something that my family knows a lot about. So I thought it would be fun to make a trivia game so we can all play and see who gets the most points and who can claim #1 fan. So you can choose books that you know well, or multiple books if you want. I made a trivia game for Harry Potter, but also I used Holes and Dr. Seuss books. It doesn't have to be about one story or show like the Friends deck that I showed you. If it's easier to use multiple books, that's great. If you are having trouble coming up with books that you can use, you can also use movies or TV shows or video games or celebrities, because trivia is about knowing obscure or not well-known fun facts about things that not everybody knows about. And it's about everything. It's not just about books, but since this is a literacy through art class, I would love it if you guys picked books to use, at least one. And then you can use other shows and stuff where you might know more about. For example, I know that my brothers really like to play Fortnite, so I added in my deck of trivia cards some questions about Fortnite, some trivia questions about Fortnite. So I came up with things that my whole family likes. And once you come up with a book or multiple books or books and shows to write trivia questions about, then you can start making the trivia cards that you're going to need for your game. To make the cards, you are going to need something to draw with, here's the spiral pencil cup that I made a couple of weeks ago. Check out the video if you want to know how to make this. You're going to need something to write with and something to draw with. And you are also going to need index cards, which I used for my cards. You can see here I made a Dr. Seuss one, and here's some of my other cards. I'll show you them again later. But I used index cards. You can also, if you don't have a bunch of index cards lying around in your house, you can also just cut out paper and make them card-sized pieces. They're usually 4 by 6 inches, so you can measure it or just cut it out. It doesn't really matter. But I use index cards, so those are the materials you're gonna need: something to draw, write with, and card sized paper. And what I did for my cards, which I thought was fun, was take the front, the blank side of the index card, and decorate it according to the question that I have on the back. So I made a bunch of cards for Harry Potter because I'm a Harry Potter fan and I know a lot of little trivia about Harry Potter. But I thought, since I was using different books and video games and other media in my deck, that I should specify what book or show it belongs to on the front, like the Friends game does, Central Perk, so I know it's about Friends. So I used Harry Potter, and I don't know if you guys have seen the movies, but in the beginning it says Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban, or whatever movie it is, in this font. So I thought it would be fun to create the font, get a little creative and artsy on the front of the card, and then on the back of the card write a question. On the back of this card is, what is Wormtail's real name? And you can see I wrote the question here. And then on the bottom of the card, upside down, I wrote the answer, which is Peter Pettigrew. So I think it would be a nice touch to design the front of your cards according to the question on the back, or just design them to make them look nice, because you don't want your participants to be looking at white paper, because that's kind of boring. This is more fun. So you can design the front of your cards, and on the back of your cards, write your questions. So think of obscure, random, fun facts that you know about these books or movies or shows or video games. I'm going to give you some examples of the questions that I use to show you how different they can be. The Harry Potter one, I just read the Wormtail one, but there's another question. What is Fred and George's shop called? Fred and George make a shop in the later books and movies with a bunch of like prank candy and objects like that, because they love pranking. And the answer is here on the bottom, written small and upside down: Weasley's Wizard Wheezies. So you can write questions like that. I also made a card for Dr. Seuss books because I found a lot of fun trivia about his, sorry, there was a reconnecting sign on my screen. Because Dr. Seuss, I found a lot of fun trivia about him and his books. The question on this one says, how many words are in Dr. Seuss's books, Green Eggs and Ham? And that seems like a weird question to ask, because who's gonna count the words in a book? But some people know this, the answer to this question, because Dr. Seuss and his editor made a bet that he couldn't write a book in 50 words, and he did, and that book was Green Eggs and Ham. A question that I wrote for the book Holes that I loved when I read in 5th grade. What is Zero's real name? He's a character in the book. And again, the answer is written small on the back, upside down, which is very important, so the answer just doesn't just jump out at you when you pull the question. And the answer is Hector Zeroni. And the last example that I'm going to show you guys is the one that I made of Fortnite for my brothers, because they love Fortnite. You can see here I used the font, the Fortnite font, which I thought was a fun addition. And the question is, on what date did a black hole appear in Fortnite? I had no idea what the answer to this question was. I had to look it up, but I wanted to include some fun things for my brothers so that they can prove that they know trivia too. And the answer is October 13th. Oh, it's a little bit bright. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, October 13th. So those are the examples that I made for you guys. And I put them in a deck, and I'm going to make more, but I wanted to show you the ones that I already made so you guys kind of get an idea of how I designed my cards and what kind of questions I put on my cards, because those are the kind of questions that you want to put on your own. I hope you have a sense of what trivia questions can be. If you didn't know before, you can always ask me afterwards. You can comment below or on the blog or anywhere I post it, and I can, help you. When I was having trouble coming up with some trivia questions, I Googled some on the internet. I know that's kind of cheating, and the point is to come up with a topic that you know a lot about already, but to make it more inclusive for all of your family members or whoever you're playing with, like I did for my brothers with Fortnite. I don't know anything about Fortnite, so I looked up Fortnite trivia questions, and I found a lot of cool ones, and I learned a lot about Fortnite that I didn't know before, which was fun. So you can look up different trivia questions online if you get stuck after a while. So you have a full deck of cards that you can use to play the game with your family. What I'm going to explain now is how to play the game. So you can play by yourself, which is why I'm telling you to write the questions on the back and then the answer upside down and small on the card. Oh my gosh, you can't see it. Yeah. So that if you play by yourself, you read the question and the answer isn't directly underneath. You can read the question, think about it, and then when you want to check to see if you're right, you can turn it upside down and look at the answer. So you can do that. You can also play with a group of people. I'm going to play later with my family. We have a family of 5. And to play with a group, I suggest that you play with 3 or more people. You can play with as many people as you want, but again, make sure it's a safe number of people since we're isolating. So I'm gonna play with my family. You can also play over FaceTime if you want, but I suggest 3 or more people. For each game or round, one person is gonna be the designated question asker. So you have your deck of cards, the ones that you made, the ones that are all pretty because you designed them. And you're gonna have one designated question asker. That question asker pulls a card, holds it up, reads a question on the back, and the people who are the answerers, they try to guess the question correctly. This is kind of a competitive game. You're trying to compete for points, and how you get points is gathering the cards. So when you get a question right, you keep a card. And you keep the cards with you until the end of the game, and then at the end of the game, you count up the cards, and whoever has the most cards or whoever answered the most questions wins the game, and they are the true trivia king or queen. So that's how you get points. Since the game is competitive, the question asker pulls a card, asks the question, and then the person who thinks that they know the answer first says it as quickly as possible to get it out first. If they're correct, you give them the card and pull the next one, answer the next question, and repeat the instructions I just did until you're done playing the game or you've gone through your entire pile of cards. But if the person is right, if the person's answer is correct, you give them the card. If they are not correct, you read the question again, and the other people playing have another chance to answer the question correctly. So the next person who thinks they know the answer will say it. And if they're right, then they get the card. If not, same rules apply. And if you have guessed an answer incorrectly already, you may not answer a question again until everybody else has had a turn to guess. That's kind of just how it seems fair to me. Of course, this is your game, so you can play it how you want, but those are the rules that I suggest you use just to give everybody a chance. And then you can play until you're tired or you run out of cards. So it's more fun if you make more cards because then you can play more and you can play again. So make as many cards as you can. And again, you can use the internet and look up like Harry Potter trivia questions or Fortnite trivia questions to help you if you run out of your own facts or trivia that you came up with on your own. So again, there's one question asker and the other people are the answerers. They're competing for points. Each card is a point. You can get a card when you answer the question correctly. The instructions to the game will also be posted on ArtSphere's blog along with the instructions for making the cards and making the trivia questions and the materials and other things that you'll need. I'm also going to post pictures of the cards that I made on the blog. This video will also be posted on the Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I don't have any more instructions. Just want to show you again the cards that I made for Harry Potter. I thought it was really fun using the font, looking up the font that they use in the movies and making that on my cards. It really grabs attention and it's much more fun than just a blank white card. Here's the Fortnite one. You can also draw pictures, that's totally okay. You can design it however you want. It can be a rainbow, it doesn't have to be related to the question on the back, but I think it's more fun and gets your creative juices flowing if you decorate them. Here's the Dr. Seuss one. And holes, you can see I used a little shovel, so get creative with it, get creative with your questions. And I hope you play with your families or your friends over FaceTime, and I hope you share your cards with me. I would love to see what you guys have come up with. You can share on the blog, you can share on the Facebook page, you can message us. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoy, and tune in again on Wednesday at 1:30 for the next class. Have a good weekend, guys.